Aaron Tuttle here. It's storm season in Oklahoma, and with that comes torrential rain, high winds, and hail. To protect your home and your family from these threats, the one roofing company you should trust is Ferguson Roof Systems. They've been providing the best in roofing services for nearly half a century. Ferguson is Oklahoma's full-service roofing company, certified with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and a 5-star rating on Google. And with Ferguson now offering Class 4 impact-resistant shingles, now is the time to trust them with your home's roof. Get started today at FergusonRoofSystems.com.
I never see you guys get so excited for a weather broadcast. It's awesome. You guys are like, it's go time. Let's do this. Let's just flood the page with hearts. So welcome AT's weather, meteorologist Aaron Tuttle. So those folks that are new, AT stands for my initials, Aaron Tuttle, just to make it easy. That was a nickname I picked up back when I was doing the TV broadcast thing on the news studios back at my Channel 5 days. My co-anchor in the morning, instead of saying my name, Aaron, every 5 seconds, because it was weather on the fives, which means every 5 minutes you had to do some kind of weather for 2 hours straight, right? So I think to shorten things, he just started saying AT, and it stuck. So from that point forward, that's what I've been known as. Cindy, thank you for the stars. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Very kind of you. Very thoughtful. So I always appreciate you guys' support, no matter if you're going to send me stars or on YouTube. Their feature, Rumble's got Rumbles. There's all kinds of stuff now. You can help your content creator, so I do appreciate that. Also, just liking the video is huge, because the algorithms work off your likes, believe it or not. That's the number one motivator to see any content. If you don't like it, you don't see it. So it is what it is. I mean, it makes sense, right? David, thank you for the stars. Debbie as well. Angela, Ron. I know you guys came into the house because you want to know about the weather, right? We do have some more heavy rain coming. Got some flooding rain potentially. We also might even see some tornadoes. Now, where are those tornadoes going to happen? Well, Jared, he wants to know. Down in Dallas-Fort Worth, yeah. We're going to see them down there. But what about the rest of North Texas and maybe even southern Oklahoma? Ooh, could be right on the Red River. If you guys live down there in southern Oklahoma, we may have to deal with that as well. Dina's in the house with some stars. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. If you look outside right now on my weather station, my Tempest, you can get one too, just like I do. Click that little QR code. It'll tell you all about it at any point in time during this broadcast or on a replay. Get you a discount as well. I'm at 49 degrees, man. It's cold. How can you have, severe weather when it's 49, right? Rainfall amounts, if you squeeze your eyes really close, 0.68. So just about 7/10 of an inch of rain here at my house. Man, it was much needed. We need a lot more of that rain. If you read my blog from the last few days, you realize that western Oklahoma, has been in a drought, and we need it everywhere we can get it. This is our rainy season, so come on, pile it on. Nanette's in the house with some stars. Thank you, Nanette. All right, so here is a look at the wide view of the state. So right now, the light to moderate stuff is kind of drifting through the northern half of the state. We have temperatures here into the mid to upper 40s. The metro had some heavy showers move through Edmond a little while ago. Those have moved off to Arcadia now. Things are light after that. But if you want to find some thunderstorms, you can head down here into southern Oklahoma. So Roth, Sulphur, Wynnewood, Elmore City, just east of you guys, just south of Pauls Valley, Stonewall, Tupelo, all this activity kind of moving to the east and northeast, just north and east of Colgate, Springtown. So nothing severe. You might get some teeny tiny pea-sized hail out of that. Otherwise, brief heavy rainfall and some lightning. Now, the bigger, stronger thunderstorms have actually been out in the panhandle of Texas, and it looks like those are pretty much wound down, exception of this guy way down here into northwestern Texas. Got a tornado warning with that one. But otherwise, across the state of Oklahoma, things have been fairly tame today. Just some much-needed rainfall. Now, that we can deal with, right? I would love to have, us in the middle of our severe weather season and get the rain without the severe weather. So how much rainfall has fallen elsewhere? Well, if you look up here, of course, into the Oklahoma County area, it kind of ranges anywhere from about half an inch on the west side to about 7/10 to about 9/10, basically an inch, about half an inch to an inch here across Oklahoma County. Higher amounts up here in the northern Oklahoma over night into today, and then down across eastern Oklahoma as well. Another viewpoint of that does kind of show you the heaviest stuff fell between Tulsa and McAllister. Again, these pockets up here, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Same here from Stillwater to Ponca City, back up to Enid, a little sweet spot of some heavy rainfall. None of this is going to cause any flooding, but if you get some rain up around 3 or 4 inches of, that could cause some flooding, especially Eastern Oklahoma has already seen some pretty decent amounts of rain, so that would be an easier thing to happen for you. If you look across the satellite viewpoint across Oklahoma, and I'm going to outline Oklahoma on this map because it is really hard to see. Man, I can barely see as I'm drawing my little line here, but this is a really horrible rendition of Oklahoma, but you get the picture. So this is the satellite viewpoint. So we do have, again, like those thunderstorms up here, right down here in the southern Oklahoma, some coming up here in the northwest, panhandle area, and these are going to drift off to the east overnight tonight, and then down here in the northern Texas. So there's more rain to come. Matter of fact, our heaviest rain will be overnight into early tomorrow morning. If you do look at highs today, we were only in the 50s across most of the state. Down here across southern Oklahoma, we did get into the 70s briefly, but that's about it. Otherwise, whoo, it was chilly out there. Is your heater on or is your AC on? Which is it? 50 degrees currently in the metro, pretty much over most of central Oklahoma. Still some 60s down here in southwest. Not a whole lot of wind out there today, kind of an easterly direction. Sometimes you get some gusts up to around 20 in southwestern parts of the state and southern Oklahoma. That's about it. Now, there is a threat of severe weather. Storm Prediction Center outlines it here, categorical for tonight in this area across most of Texas. Just barely clips the Sooner State. And also on Tuesday, that shifts to the east and south a bit. So let's take a close-up view of that. So here's a look again of our region. So it kind of barely gets Oklahoma overnight in this little region here. There is a little bit of a weak tornado threat within this, but honestly, I don't see it happening here in Oklahoma. Down here in Texas, sure. I mean, we've already got a warning down there, but otherwise, I think we're okay. And then as we head into, let's see this deal here tomorrow. Categorical. So you can see Oklahoma. We do have southern Oklahoma in a slight risk along the Red River. So basically, the southern Red River counties. And if you look at the tornado threat, let's see here. It shows it mostly over North Texas, but I think with the latest data, we could actually see it shift north a bit. So I would actually shift this just to the north, just to barely include Oklahoma in general. And there is a threat, believe it or not, of a little bit of hail, especially tomorrow morning. We'll call it like mid to late morning across this area of the state, but it's be very small. So I don't think it'll be damaging. In other words, I'm thinking pennies, dimes, maybe nickels at most. Otherwise, anything substantial should be down here across this area of the state later in the day as things kind of destabilize a little bit better. So again, close-up view of the severe weather risk. If you're just now tuning in, very low here over here in southwest Oklahoma for tonight. We are going to expect some thunderstorms to regenerate for Wednesday, though, and that'll shift to the east. So Wednesday's threat is down here across Red River Valley and then on down to North Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Very low here for a tornado in Oklahoma, but I'd probably put it a medium threat across North Texas, including Dallas-Fort Worth. Just kind of, yes, the way it is. If we do look at the rainfall amounts for tonight into tomorrow, again, that's our heaviest round will be coming through during this period. I'll show it to you in the data in a second, but Weather Service has a widespread area anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 inches of rainfall across the state. If you look here across eastern Oklahoma, same idea, some heavier amounts, which has already occurred kind of across I-40 with additional rainfall to go. All right, if you look at the AI, or some people hate that term, as I was told in the comments section. I hate when you say AI. Okay, fine. Machine learning. Does that make you feel better? Machine learning algorithms. They are predicting tornadoes also in this little sweet spot here across Texas. But you can see it does include southern third of Oklahoma here in the green, which is very low risk. But also for the hail in this area and some wind down here as well. So the algorithms are on board with the idea of the forecast. All right, upper level storm system. The upper level low pressure system that's coming through is anchored across Texas Panhandle for tomorrow. And when you do have the low in that position, what you look for is the lift, which will be east of the trough axis. So that kind of is usually in this zone here. This is where you get your severe weather as this moves to the east. And so that's what we're going to have here for really starting kind of in the morning, but also this during the day. The wind field along with this at 300 millibars, it does kind of split. So we got a branch that comes up here, a jet max that goes here. So you have a nice split across this region. All right, so that's good if you want severe weather. Helps you get those storms to breathe aloft. All right, if you look at the kind of a lower level lift in the atmosphere, we're going to show you where the heaviest rainfall is kind of poised to move through. The bright purples indicates the strongest lift in the atmosphere. So here's tomorrow morning. So if you do notice that, it actually turns to this aqua color. That's how strong it is. So very heavy lift here across central Oklahoma, which means that's where you get your heaviest rainfall. That is through the mid-morning hours into lunchtime. Kind of starts to shift now across the northern half of the state, but still here across the Oklahoma City metro area. Let's see, as we go into the afternoon hours, now you see new lift develop south central Oklahoma from the metro southward on into, then you got it, North Texas in this little corridor. So we kind of have these little various areas of lift throughout the day. This is at 6 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock. And then more lift during the evening hours across southeast Oklahoma and North Texas. Remember the fan and the jet stream pattern that kind of goes along with that. So that's you're going to have your heavier thunderstorms later in the day for your Wednesday. That will continue overnight into Thursday morning, kind of moving out. The upper low starts to move through Oklahoma by that point on Thursday morning. So bringing some light showers with it, probably in this area over Tulsa. Otherwise, exiting the state as you go through the middle morning hours on Thursday. All right, so you know me. I like dew point values to be in the 60s for tornadoes. So where are they? Where are the juicy dews? Well, they're not here in Oklahoma. So let's go to tomorrow in the afternoon. Let's go right into the afternoon hours, 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. And most of them are confined right along the Red River and then points to the south. So that boxes this region here quite nicely in the dew point values around 70 or 71 or 73 degrees. That is plenty of moisture to work with. Now, I did mention there's a low threat for tornadoes, very low in this region of the state with dew point values only in the mid-50s. That's why it's very low. It's just kind of a CYA type deal. I can't rule it out. Although I'm more favored down across Red River. All right, if we look at the severe weather parameters, in other words, all the ingredients that help to produce a tornado, and we look down here on the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I pick kind of a sweet spot where the ingredients really come together off of a surface low. You end up with a pretty decent forecast for tornadoes down here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You've got plenty of shear. Oh, let's see here. This is over 432 meters squared per second squared. That'll do it. That's your storm relative felicity. All your indices, the ship models up around 4. So you're going to have extremely large hail, like grapefruit size hail is going to be possible across North Texas. Definitely tennis ball size to baseball size. That's going to be common. But you could probably get a couple of grapefruits down there somewhere. Let's see what else we like. Oh, now what we call a slinky, storm slinky. That's nice and curved. Typical path, typical view of a classic supercell storm. The photograph's a little messy here, but it'll do the job. And as far as the potential for a tornado, it's off the scale as far as what we call a PDS tour, which means particularly dangerous situation, which means you could have a tornado in the EF4 or EF5 category, which is a violent tornado. Now, obviously, we do not want to see this moving through Dallas-Fort Worth, but the problem is that the parameters are there, so you have to watch any storm very carefully, and those parameters move through the region through the dinner time hour. Then once you get to about the 8, 9 o'clock hour, they start to shift southward and southeastward out of the metro area and then start to kind of quiet down. And we're talking about the Metroplex, not Oklahoma City. When I say metro area, keep that in mind. All right, so let's take a look here at the shear, which is the overlay where you get the triangles here in the map. So you have a south wind, southwest wind, and a west wind. Remember, the more turning you get here, better shear in the atmosphere, so better potential for tornadoes and rotating thunderstorms. You do also have these little purple areas, which is Cape values up around 4,000 joules, which is so much energy to work with. So any storms down here are going to be nasty down here in North Texas. Okay, so let's take a look here at how the rain should progress for tonight into tomorrow morning. And this is where we might see just a little bit of tiny hail. Okay, so overnight, again, we get those thunderstorms in southern Oklahoma as the model's picking up on pretty good. And then here comes that big line that moves into western Oklahoma around 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, it's going to be a pretty quick mover. So as we go through 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, it is starting to approach the metro area from the west, probably just western Canadian County, but we'll also have some additional showers that bubble up, maybe even some rumbles of thunder. We're going to have a lot of elevated instability as this line moves through. What elevated instability is, it means it's not surface-based, so we can't get thunderstorms. So we don't have, the heating at the surface, right, or the dew point. But we do have what we call mid-level instability. Or even upper level. So when I look here, we pretend, this is where we have to pretend, that we live at this layer of the atmosphere, which is 850 millibars. So in other words, 1 kilometer up in the sky. We don't live down here. Remember, this is for, just for sake of this discussion. We don't live down here at the surface because if we did, we're very stable. So we have to pretend that we live up here at this level. And when we do, well, look at this. We have some really decent instability in this region, which is the difference between this dotted line right here and this red line right here. So this is Cape values. So basically we have upper level instability up around 1500 joules. And what that means is, in this particular case, is you can get some hail. The ship model does have 1.1, which is probably just about under an inch in diameter. So that's why I'm thinking most of the hail should be smaller than that. I guess I can't rule out something larger. This is assuming this model verifies. Other models aren't nearly as bullish, so keep that in mind. So that's why I'm not going so excited about the hail. By the way, some very heavy rain. So yeah, some pockets of hail mixed in this, but as well as some very heavy rain tomorrow morning around 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock as it moves on through. As we head to Tulsa, probably about around noontime as well. Even though it's a fast mover, it's a very large area, so it's going to seem like a slow mover. As we head into the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock window, this continues to progress into eastern Oklahoma. And then we've got some new development here kind of from the metro point south and west. Remember we had that secondary area of strong lift in the atmosphere that I showed you, kind of starting this secondary line that comes in for southwestern Oklahoma that does move through the Oklahoma City metro area. I could do a sounding forecast for that. We'll see what it looks like. Yep, still some elevated instability. Ship model still right around 100. So yeah, significant hail around an inch. So it's again possible we could see a little bit of hail with some of these thunderstorms here in central Oklahoma. Otherwise, the big bad nasty stuff will be down along the Red River and points to the south. So there's 6 o'clock. Still got some showers, thunderstorms here in central Oklahoma for your Wednesday. So again, most of Wednesday will be pretty wet, pretty rainy. And then down across southern Oklahoma and southeast Oklahoma and north Texas through 8 o'clock is where all those other storms are going to be. And then we'll have some wraparound light showers and sprinkles and rain that goes from Wednesday night into Thursday morning as it kind of transverses from west to east across the northern half of the state. That's where that track of the upper level low is. So some rain for you guys in Tulsa Thursday morning up to probably about mid-morning, and then by noontime it should be out of there, and then exiting the state by noon. So that's kind of the timeline and how the rain should look in theory. If we look, there's a lot of other models we can look at for cam models. I'll just show you one other one because otherwise I'll kind of paint the similar picture, which is some heavy thunderstorms also occurring down in Texas, by the way. So there's your morning stuff for here in Oklahoma area. And then by afternoon, there's that blow up of other supercell storms here in North Texas, all the way down to at least Waco and probably Austin area, just west of there. So that will be in the mid-afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then that will move through the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area during drive time. So there's some other thunderstorms here in southeast Oklahoma and northeast Texas. Some of these have helicity tracks with them, so again, some hail. And like I said, you might get a tornado up along the Red River. Let's see, those all kind of keep on going through Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and they kind of finally clear everybody out of here for Oklahoma and Texas by midday Thursday. So that's when things start to wind down. The Texas Tech model did indicate a little bit of hail in its algorithms overnight into tomorrow morning. So there you go. But it's very, very small. These little blue specks you see on the map, it's pretty tiny hail. But down on the Red River, it definitely has 1 to 2 inch size hailstones on into North Texas, where it's got these little areas here where it kind of says yellow and orange. If we look at the scale, it looks yellow, but it's actually kind of this peach color. All right, so we go to peach color plus a couple of colors after that. We're up at 2.75 to maybe 3. So we're looking well into baseball and tennis ball size hail in North Texas. You got to be careful down there in that region. Okay, so last model will be our experimental run of the new flagship thing that researchers are working on. And it likes the idea of some heavy rainfall moving through here central Oklahoma in the morning. And it does like this idea of all these little helicity tracks down here in North Texas, which indicative of, again, some damaging winds, large hail, and yes, a few of these will probably be producing some tornadoes going through the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. Really, any time's fair game down there until when you get to the mid-afternoon hours, because there's no there's no cap. So probably really 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon onward is your window for storms down there in Dallas-Fort Worth that may be tornadic through the evening. Rainfall obviously is an issue to contend with, but in most cases it's welcomed. If we look at this particular model here, it kind of highlights it, and this is where the models won't do so well, but they will pick up on these little streaks of very heavy precipitation. All right, they can't ever predict exactly where they're going to be, but what it means is some of these areas, if I put my cursor, get off of there, clear that out, put my cursor right there, you can see it 4.5 inches, for example. Okay, so let me go to another one. We'll do some guy right here. And same idea with this, run it through. And this one has got 5.5 inches, and this is north. See, one was down south of the metro, one's north side of the metro. Let's see, we did those two. Let's do this one. Each are going to say something different, but the take home is that there will be some areas that do exceed 3 inches of rain with no problem. Won't be many of them. I mean, won't be a ton, especially in that 4 or 5 or even 6 inch rain. Those will be isolated, but they will be out there to speak of. We'll do one more, and then I might do one more, and then we'll call it good. We'll do this one, then one more. Just because I'm curious. Looking at the data, new hot off the presses anyway. So here's one down around 5 inches, like around the Ada area. Okay, we'll try this one just to see, and that's it. I mentioned this in my blog, that the widespread stuff from 2 to 3 is pretty common, but there will be some isolated stuff over 3. It's just models have a hard time at finding out where that'll be. All right, nothing special on that one. All right, so moving on. Temperatures obviously are going to be on the chilly side, just like today, because we had cloud cover, we have more rain coming. So tonight, about where they are, right around 50 degrees, and on Wednesday we'll be in the 50s again statewide. The warmest stuff will be down across Texas again, and we'll stay in the 50s. Thursday morning, 50s, and then by the afternoon, should see some 60s sneaking in there. So Thursday should be a rebound day for at least the western and southwestern parts of the state. Northeast Oklahoma still pretty cool. Friday morning, cool again, back into the 40s. And on the weekend, we'll still probably have some cool mornings. Just be careful out there. I'll look at new data later as far as how cold we may get, but we'll probably be in the 40s for sure. Whether or not we get into the 30s, we'll have to see, for plant protection, that kind of deal. If we look at rainfall, the latter part of the week, because there's another system coming, but models kind of are fighting as to the exact track of the upper level low. This is one particular outcome that could verify. This is a Friday afternoon. So it's got rainfall developing here, kind of scattered nature, mostly across the southern half of the state, on into North Texas again. So that's where this model likes it. Here's Saturday morning. Still has some rain in central Oklahoma. There's some in northeast Tulsa, back in southwest Oklahoma during on Saturday as that upper level low moves through. So again, mostly across, the southern half as far as the really heavier stuff. Maybe some light stuff scattered off and on in the northern half on Saturday. Now, other models a little bit more south, which would keep that trend with more of the heavier rain down across North Texas and less over the body of Oklahoma, but more maybe focused over far southern Oklahoma. Regardless, that'll be our next final system to get out of here before we look at another potential round for next week. So, good news is we're going to be doing some off and on raindrops around here, which is really nice to see. Temperatures, as a result, going to be chilly. 50s, 60s for daytime highs, 40s for overnight lows. Like I said, we'll watch for the weekend. If we get some clear skies, etc. We'll see what happens with these numbers in a Monday. Otherwise, we will get back into the 70s, hopefully, next week. Overnight lows gradually getting up a little bit more. We are, again, into an interesting pattern aloft, a very strong ridge out western parts of the country that puts us in a northwest flow aloft, which is usually what we see in June. And that usually drives thunderstorms from like Colorado and drifts them down here, and sometimes those are severe. This time around, it's a little bit of a different pattern. We're still kind of stuck in a late winter pattern, so we end up having colder weather here at the surface. Those highs are a little stronger, so we stay much colder, which reduces the instability, with the exception of the upper level instability I mentioned, which can sometimes generate some hail. But hey, it keeps the tornadoes away from us. It's not a bad trade-off. Let's see. Everyone is pretty silent about North Texas, including the SPC. Yeah, usually the way it is until the day of. I don't know what's going on. No, I mean, the data I looked at last night, it wasn't all that concerning. For North Texas, it was going to be some supercells, but going to be messy. The shear wasn't perfect. Photographs weren't perfect, so it'd be kind of messy storm structures. A lot of hail and wind, though, is what it kind of looked like. Tonight, though, models kind of cleared some of that up a little bit, went a little bit more on the tornado side. So I'm guessing is they're just going to wait. What they end up doing is they'll get an update overnight tonight, looking at this evening's data we just looked at, and they'll update all that, and they'll shift everything a bit more north, and they'll increase probably the wording a little bit better, and they'll probably kick up a category up, is usually what they do. And then as the morning run comes in, they'll do that again and solidify, and that'll be basically their forecast for the day. So there you have it. But yeah, it's a good question. Let's see here. Let me go. So you guys over there on YouTube, by the way, thanks for checking in. Let me see what we got here. See if I have any quick questions I can ask or answer. Jim's got 0.34 inches in Mustang. Man, you need some more out there. The west side needs more rain. Jessica, no heat coming back anytime soon. Jennifer's happy with her rain in Woodward. Good deal. Mean Okie does not want anything that spins. I'm with you. Let's see. Jody, you're cute. All right. Mean Vagine. You don't. So this is gonna be the new thing. You don't want to see my cursor close to you when it comes to certain things I'm pointing at on the map. That is no bueno. Oh, by the way, on Facebook, if you were late and you kind of just tuned in and you missed like half of this or whatever, and you're late to the party, click that link I just posted. That way you can get a direct message from me through your instant messenger when I do go live, so you don't miss out. You can opt in. You have to re-opt in every so often, otherwise it'll kick you out. Most of you guys are pretty fanatic with that, so you really don't miss anything. And sometimes you press it so much it breaks, and then you got to wait for it to reset. But you're good. I think you only have to do it like a couple of times like you watch a couple shows and then re-opt in. Let's see. So Angela, yeah, it's gonna be a while for like the really warm weather that you're thinking of. I hope you didn't put away all that winter stuff yet. By the way, Jared, thank you for the stars. Yeah, I know you guys need some help down there on the weather forecasting side. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't understand what's going on with meteorologists down in North Texas. It's always been that way. They're just very conservative, and it's a function of because things are really typically quiet down there. Believe it or not, there's a big difference between Oklahoma and North Texas in the world of weather. That Red River is a huge line in the sand. You get north of that river, and it's Katy bar the doors. You get south of that river, and it's, I don't know, man. It's almost just gets really quiet. Cap is always built in, so you guys hardly get any good thunderstorms. So your tornado threat usually is pretty low year-round. But when something does look like it'll happen, they're almost like in disbelief, right? They're almost kind of in what we call persistence forecast, which means it's the same forecast today, it's going to be tomorrow. And they think that through in weeks and months and year and forever. So when they do that, they miss out on the big events because, hey, they'll be right 99% of the time. They'll be wrong on the 1% that matter. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Let's see. AJ, when is the Durant radar coming online? They're waiting for parts last I heard, which in theory, fingers crossed, were hopefully to be delivered, I think by the end of this month. So hopefully in May, it'll be up and running. Laura, yes, me too. So I got an update on that AT&T fiber internet. Some of you probably saw my post on Facebook about it. You guys know my woes, my sorrows, my troubles with Cox Communications. It has been a love and hate relationship minus the love. Now, I know not everybody's like that because I know Cox in some areas, they have fiber or their lines are great. My particular case, I just happen to be the wrong place in the whole chain of lines, so I'm at the very end of all of it, which means any junk gets in the line, I get hosed. And they can do nothing about it. Of course, they will do nothing about it because that would require a whole rewiring, and they're not going to do that for me. So basically, they just come out and fix it every time, or and it's a pain for them. But we've been doing this little dance for years and years, and I got down to science. I've learned so much now about cable internet, so I pretty much could be a Cox technician at this point. So I've learned a lot, like way too much. I shouldn't have to know any of this stuff, but yet I do. But that's good because it helps me troubleshoot. I know exactly what happens and when it happens. But by the end of July, according to my AT&T insider, we should probably have the fiber built here in my neighborhood and finished. Now, how long it takes for them to turn it on after that, I don't know, maybe another week or so. But hopefully after that, by the end of July, first week of August, I should hopefully have AT&T fiber. So obviously I'll keep you guys posted on that. I'm looking forward to it because I just need something stable. As you guys know, I posted, I pay $140 for 230 down and only 35 up, basically, is what it kind of averages out to. But that 35 up, unfortunately, isn't consistent, and it can drop at any point, and then my internet, this whole broadcast just comes to a halt. You guys usually see the buffering or, whatever can happen after that. So I'll be glad to have another option. So looking forward to it. So I know some of you guys hate AT&T and all that stuff, but look, man, if you had to suffer like I did for 10 years, you don't care. So I just want me some internet that's reliable, and it ain't happening with what I currently got. So I did hear that they will eventually get fiber. Cox will get fiber in my neighborhood, but it's going to be another couple more years. Anybody got time for that? So snooze, you lose. There's no loyalty in anything around here, man. If you don't have service, what's the point? So, but they've always been nice to me when I've called them up to have them come fix it. So I will give them that. All right. I mean, it took us a while to get to that point, but they're at that point now where they're very nice to me because they know. They know my situation. There's nothing they can do about it. So at least they're nice to come out and fix it. That's about all we got. But I'll be glad not to have to go through that headache anymore, that stress. Because every time I got to start this broadcast, you know what I have to do? I have to check to see if I have internet going. And sometimes I don't. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I ain't going live tonight. So, but I don't have to deal with that anymore, hopefully, in the future. That'd be a nice stress relief. Anyway, so that's the latest on the AT&T Cox update. So I'll keep you posted how things are going. I don't know what to do with myself if I get fiber. I really won't know what to do with myself. So anyway, all right, so listen, my plan for tomorrow, obviously I will not be covering the morning storms. I don't really do much for hail or wind. So tornadoes, if it does look like there's a possibility down across southern Oklahoma, obviously I would cover those. If it's going to happen across North Texas into Dallas, I might cover those. It just depends. I got a lot on my plate, but if I've got some time, I may squeeze it in. So if you have relatives or friends that do live down there and end up going live, I will notify you, of course, like I do here. And then on my weather app, AT's Weather to Go, I will broadcast there. I usually send out a notice when I go live. So if you don't have my app, that's another way to get noticed, a notification when I do go live to cover tornadoes, because I usually highlight the area and I say, hey, I'm going live now. And then that way you can tune in. You can either watch it through the app, or you can go to your Facebook app or your YouTube or whatever, Rumble, Twitter. You can watch it that way as well. But so I may cover that. We'll just kind of see how it goes, play it by ear. But that's it for me. I get out of here. You guys have a great night. Thanks for staying up with me, and I hope you always learn a little something when we talk about the weather here. And you guys be good. I'll see you later.